Hello my dear friends, you're in the Military Summary channel. In this video we're going to discuss the most important events that took place during the previous 12 hours. We have a lot of very interesting updates, so let's start. The Russians once again attacked the territory of Ukraine with dozens of missiles and hundreds of drones, and several sources have already called named this attack as one of the biggest attacks. The pro-Ukrainian sources during this morning published this picture where we can see the approximate roads of missiles and drones that were attacking the territory of Ukraine. The Russians launched a massive strike using drones and missiles, ballistic cruise missiles, on the territory of Ukraine, specifically in the following regions: Zaporozhye, Donetsk, Dnipropetrovsk, Kharkiv, Odessa, Sumy, Poltava, Chernihiv, and Vinnytsia. The strike involved the use of approximately 350 drones of various types and 30 cruise missiles of different types and 27 ballistic missiles and up to 6 Ha-22-32 missiles. So this is the map, and here we can see lots of areas that the Russians were concentrated most of all. The Russians attacked the Vinnytsia region, the Russians attacked the Kiev region, the Russians attacked the territory between the cities of the Zaporozhye and Dnipro, and the Russians attacked the territory of the city of Kharkiv and the area around. Once again, the Russians were mainly attacking objects of energy infrastructure, and the sources are saying that the Russians managed to deal significant damage, and several sources, pro-Ukrainian sources, confirmed that it seems that one of the power plants was completely destroyed and several substations were critically damaged. Later, the Minister of Defense of Ukraine published this article where we can see and where we can get more numbers about this attack. According to this article, starting from the 6 p.m. on the February 2nd, the Russians have used 521 air vehicles. The Ukrainians, according to this article, managed to bring down 450 targets, including 412 drones. So as you can see, lots of missiles and lots of drones managed to get the target. Once again, the Russians were attacking mainly objects of energy infrastructure, and according to information we have, lots of objects of critical infrastructure were heavily damaged around the city of Dnipro and Zaporozhye. Several independent sources managed to calculate the number of missiles or the number of explosions that were recorded around the city of Dnipro, and the sources are saying that the Russians were attacking the Dniprovskaya power station. Maybe this is exactly the station that was completely destroyed, according to pro-Ukrainian authorities, because this morning several independent sources stated that the Russians attacked this power station with approximately 18 Iskander missiles. Just imagine yourself, 18 Iskander missiles attacked this power station. Telling the truth, I'm not sure that anything can probably survive after this attack. Furthermore, during this night, we received lots of videos where we can see explosions, most likely on the territory of this power station. As of this video and as of the quality of this video, very difficult to understand whether the Russians were attacking this power station or not, but the author of this video claims that this is exactly attack on the Dniprovskaya thermal power station. Another important thing that, according to different sources, the Russians could attack a depot in the northwestern part of the city of Dnipro with several Iskander missiles. So this is one of the biggest attacks since the beginning of the special military operation when talking about the city of Dnipro, especially when talking about the Pridniprovskaya power station. Another important object of energy infrastructure is the Zmyivskaya power station, which is located to the southwest of the city of Kharkiv. The sources reported that during the previous night, the Russians used approximately 4 Iskander missiles, not 18 as we just saw in the area of the city of Dnipro, but just 4 Iskander missiles, which means that there are very high chances that this power station managed to survive. Three more Iskander missiles attacked the Kharkiv power station number 5, also not 18, and most likely the power station managed to survive. But this morning, the mayor of the city of Kharkiv stated that Kharkiv is forced to drain the coolant from 120 buildings' heating systems to avoid the complete liquidation of the network. That was stated by the mayor. Furthermore, he stated that one of the power stations received significant damage and maybe was destroyed. But when talking about missiles, we can see that most likely maybe he's bluffing or something like this. Now let's move in the western part of Ukraine. A lots of attacks according to the map that was published by this morning, this one, and according to different sources, independent sources, the Russians attacked the territory around the city of Vinnytsia. As for this region, the Russians mainly were attacking energy substations, 330 electrical substation Vinnytsia Oblast, approximately 8 Ha-101 and 6 Caliber missiles, so most likely this substation was completely destroyed with this number of missiles, and another substation was destroyed to the south of the city. This is Vinnytska 330 electrical substation. In this particular case, the Russians used approximately 6 Caliber missiles. Now let's move to the city of Kiev. During the previous night, the Russians attacked the Kiev Oblast significantly, and once again, mainly the Russians were attacking objects of critical and energy infrastructure. According to information that we can find in the open source, the Russians attacked 4 objects of energy infrastructure in the area of the city of Kiev. The first one is the Tripilska power plant, which is located to the south of the city of Kiev, and the sources calculated that the Russians used approximately 6 Ha-32 missiles and 6 Ha-101 missiles, which means that most likely the Tripilska power station was significantly damaged. Another object of energy infrastructure was attacked to the west of the city of Kiev, and this time we are talking about this 750 electrical substation, approximately 12 Ha-32 missiles and 2 Zircon hypersonic missiles attacked this power station, which means that most likely this object was also critically damaged. This is a very important substation because this substation connects the Rovna nuclear power plant. This is the Rovna nuclear power plant, which is located in the northwestern part of Ukraine, with the city of Kiev. And today several sources reported that the Kiev authorities and Ukraine's authorities made a very tough decision to cut the city of Kiev from the Rovna power station, which means that the situation in this area will continue deteriorating. So, and 2 more objects were attacked in the city itself. The sources reported that Russians attacked Kiev power plant number 5. At this particular case, the Russians used 4 Iskander missiles, and the Russians attacked the Kiev power plant number 4. At this time, the Russians used 2 Iskander missiles. So, a lot of damage, as we can see. Very difficult to understand what the Ukrainians are going to do with this. During the night, we received lots of videos, but the Ukrainians and the Ukrainian authorities are trying to hide videos, especially videos from the area of power stations, because they want to reduce videos that can confirm the damage that the Russians managed to deal. In this video, for example, we can see an inversion trail from a rocket. Preliminary reports indicate that one of the targets during the attack made a circular maneuver. So this video is coming from the Kiev region. Another video is coming from the city of Kiev. Maybe that's it. Yes. So not so many videos, as you can see. And another important thing is that right before this attack, Zelensky was trying to do everything he can. First thing is that he asked, and probably he forced or he asked the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte to arrive in Kiev. So by the time I started this video, we haven't received anything whether the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte managed to arrive in Kiev. Maybe he still hasn't. Maybe he will change his plans, because according to information we have, the Russians haven't stopped attacking the territory of Ukraine with missiles. So this map was published by the morning of the 3rd of February of 2026. And this article was also made by the morning of the 3rd of February by 9:30. So everything that the Russians used since 9:30 a.m. of the local time haven't been included to this report. And the sources are saying that the Russians still haven't stopped their attacks and they're continuing. So 521 drones and missiles altogether is not a final number. Most likely this number would be around 700 or even more, 700 forces of the war. So during the day, the Russians will continue, and most likely, and there are very high chances that the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte will change his plans, and he will not travel to Ukraine because it is very, very difficult and even dangerous. Anyway, let's wait and see. The situation with power outage schedules in Kyiv is not expected to improve due to frost and damages. That was stated by Ukrainian authorities. Furthermore, we had reports that Zelensky is trying to stabilize the situation. He sent the delegation to the United Arab Emirates. The talks are going to take place tomorrow, but it seems that after this massive attack, we can expect just one answer from Ukrainian side, the rejection or something like this. But at the same time, during the previous 12 hours and this morning, pro-Ukrainian sources and Western media published an article related to the security guarantees to Ukraine that the Western countries are going to provide. And according to this document, if Russia attack Ukraine once again after the peaceful settlement, after an agreement signed between Russia and Ukraine, then within the next 72 hours, the United States of America will let's say, answer the conflict with the Russian Federation and will start using military forces. At least this is the draft, or this is something that was published today. So, and this is not something that the Ukrainians are going to use to threaten the Russian Federation. It seems that this article was published and mainly for Ukrainian population, because this article, first of all, was about what is going to happen when the war finishes. So which means that maybe the Ukrainians are getting more ready to end the conflict, but most likely on the Russian terms. Now let's discuss the situation on the ground. During the previous 12 hours, we received also a lot of changes. The Russians, for example, continue their offensive operation in the western Zaporozhye direction. And during the previous night, additional changes were recorded to the south of the settlement of Zaliznichne. And these are the changes. According to pro-Russian sources, the Russians improved their positions along railways. Another important area is the Dobropolye-Konstantinovka direction. During the previous 12 hours, the Russians were attacking the northern parts of the city of Konstantinovka using drones. The Ukrainians, as you can see, continue sending reinforcements and reserves in the direction of the city itself, but the Russians attack everything right on the entrance to the city, and the Russians are not allowing the Ukrainians to move additional forces to the south of the city. So it seems that the city of Konstantinovka, at least its defense, is about to collapse. As for the Slaviansk direction, additional changes on the ground were recorded around the settlement of Nikiforovka. This information was confirmed and provided by neutral mappers and by pro-Russian sources. Based on these reports, we have adjusted the map, and we can see that currently the distance between edge positions of the armored forces of the Russian Federation and the settlement of Alexandrovka is already less than 4 kilometers, which means that the Russians most likely will be able to get the settlement very soon. As for the northern directions, during the previous 12 hours, we haven't received anything special. Just several pro-Russian sources stated that the pockets to the east of the settlement of Miropolye was completely captured by the armored forces of the Russian Federation, which means that most likely in coming hours, few more sources will confirm this information, and then we will add additional gray zone or contested area to this part of the northeastern part of the Sumy region. And that's it for the short video. Military with Summary channel reminds to we condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for your watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.